Meanwhile, we got this story, Dana. 2 foreign nationals nabbed after an alleged breach of the U.S. Marine base in Quantico, Virginia. The White House tight-lipped on whether or not either one is on the terror watch list.
Information is still murky, but here is what we know so far. 2 Jordanians are in ICE custody after allegedly being stopped at the Quantico gate earlier this month. It comes amid an unprecedented number of gotaways at the southern border. The Biden administration won't even say where they're from.
A migrant from Lebanon who identified himself as a Hezbollah terrorist crossed the border near El Paso, Texas, just a few days ago, the Post has exclusively learned through an internal Border Patrol memo. 22-year-old Bassel Abadi told federal authorities that he came to the U.S. to, quote, try to make a bomb. However, in a later sworn interview with a Border Patrol agent, Abadi said that he was trying to leave Lebanon and leave Hezbollah for good.
The FBI is on the hunt for an alleged Iranian assassin identified as Majid Dastani Farahani. The Iranian spy, is accused of plotting to assassinate American officials, including the former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. According to an FBI alert, the 41-year-old speaks Farsi, French, Spanish and English and also frequently travels between Iran and Venezuela. Now, the FBI said that the suspected member of Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security has been recruiting operatives within the United States to target the current or former officials of the United States.
A man was killed in a deadly crash outside the White House. According to the U.S. Secret Service, a man driving a car at a high rate of speed crashed into an outer security barrier. He was pronounced dead at the scene. So far, the man's name has not been released. The Secret Service is now investigating the crash.
I don't think there's any chance the Houthis and the other Iranian proxies are going to lower their operations just because we took this first attack. I think it's necessary, and I think it was good, and I think we damaged some of their abilities to do it. They'll be back again, and we need to be ready. We also need to be prepared for an escalation from Iran in other areas. They may tell Hezbollah and other actors to turn up the heat on either Israel or potentially U.S. Targets around the world.
China encroaching on U.S. military bases. A new report highlighting that foreign spies are posing as DoorDash drivers trying to get inside. It comes as the Biden administration is stepping in, blocking a Chinese company from U.S. land this week. News Nation's Emily Finn joining us on this. And Emily, this is a story you've been tracking for some time.
That's right, Natasha. Our News Nation team has reported extensively on Chinese companies buying up land near military bases in states across the U.S. And just this week, the Biden administration blocking a Chinese cryptocurrency firm from owning land near a Wyoming nuclear missile base, calling it a national security risk.
In national news right now, the director of the FBI is detailing the threat China poses to the United States. Critical infrastructure, he says, is a prime target. National correspondent Atra El-Nashar reports from Washington on the scale of the threat.
Chaos and disruptions to everyday American life, FBI Director Christopher Wray says, are part of the Chinese Communist Party's cyber war plan.
What we're facing today is the CCP throwing its whole government into undermining the security of the rule of law world.
Eyeing an invasion of Taiwan by 2027, China laying plans to disrupt any attempt by the United States to come to Taiwan's aid, according to the U.S. intelligence community.
This morning, the Environmental Protection Agency is out with a new warning about the safety of our drinking water. The EPA issuing an urgent alert over heightened cybersecurity threats to the nation's water utilities, especially in small communities. NBC's Ryan Nobles is following this one for us. So, Ryan, good morning to you. First of all, how significant of a warning is this?
Yeah, Greg, good morning. It is a very concerning one. The agency says that more than 70% of the water systems they inspected do not comply with requirements of the Safe Drinking Water Act and violate standards designed to prevent breaches or intrusions. Some have critical cybersecurity vulnerabilities, and they say that these threats and attacks have been increasing in number and severity. And it is an especially big problem for small town water systems, which present an inviting opportunity for bad actors to attack weakly protected infrastructure.
China fueling America's fentanyl crisis. That's what House lawmakers are revealing after a bipartisan probe uncovers the CCP's role in the deadly drug epidemic. Lawmakers saying in an op-ed, quote, "We learned that China's ruling political party subsidizes the fentanyl crisis through government programs, protects fentanyl traffickers operating within its borders, and allows sales of deadly substances on Chinese e-commerce websites."
The amount of illegal fentanyl pouring into the United States is increasing, and so too are the dangers from the drug.
That's according to a new study that's out. Fox's Kennedy Hayes joins us now with more on that. So, Kennedy, tell us about this study. What does it say about the amount of fentanyl that's being seized?
Well, John and Christina, according to a study released by the National Institute of Health, law enforcement seized record numbers of fentanyl last year, and about half of what they found was in pill form. Now take a look at this chart showing the recent spike in fentanyl seizures across the U.S. Researchers under the National Institute on Drug Abuse say agents went from seizing 44 million fentanyl pills in 2022 to more than 115 million pills last year.
Says they're looking for a man wanted for possibly trying to disable an electrical substation by shooting at it. Assignment Manager Mark Liu live at the desk with details. Mark, this is an odd one.
Yeah, Amy, the FBI says this attack happened last August. The suspect, though, still on the loose. This person may have been trying to purposely cause an electrical power failure here in Southern California. Now the FBI is offering a reward for this person's capture. Take a look. The FBI says they're offering a $25,000 reward for information about the identity of this man. They say back on August 20th of last year, this person was involved in what appears to be an attempt to disable an electrical substation in Torrance on Madrona Avenue. According to the news release from the FBI, they say this person may have been part of a group that tried to cause an electrical system failure by shooting at one of the transformers at the substation and turning off various circuit breakers. Now, no one was injured, but property at the station was significantly damaged.
It was 1 year ago when the residents of Moore County found themselves in the dark. An attack on 2 substations left thousands of people without power for 5 days.
We referred to it initially as vandalism because we didn't know if it was just people out having fun, not that that's a fun thing, but, people just causing mischief, or if in fact this was something more intentional.
Jeff Brooks with Duke Energy remembers that day like it was yesterday.
At the time, we assumed it would be just a normal routine outage, send a crew out there and work to make repairs.
Early into determining why not just hundreds, but thousands of people were left figuring out what went wrong, the focus of the investigation shifted into criminality.
We did see evidence of gunfire at the scene, and that quickly began to change the posture as the evening progressed into one of an active situation that involved a threat to the grid.
All new at 7, we now know the name of the man shot and killed at a Moore County home earlier this month.
The shooting happened on May 3rd at a home on Dowd Road in Carthage. Deputies were called to that home for trespassing. Deputies say Ramzan Darey from Chicago was shot and killed. The shooter's name has not been released, but the Moore County Sheriff's Office says the shooter is a service member with the U.S. Army. The FBI is assisting in this investigation.
That was just a reminder that the shadow war is here and it's happening now. Now, if you're looking for good intel on a regular basis, make sure you check out S2 Underground. I'll link their channel up here, but they do a great job of giving you up-to-date information that's pertinent to preparedness about events that are happening around the world as well as here in the US. So check out S2 Underground. And of course, a big thanks to Midway USA for always supporting what I do here. And they have everything you might need when it comes to equipping yourself for dealing with some of these threats that we're currently facing here in the United States. So a big thanks to Midway USA for making this possible. Anything else you need from me, go to magicprepper.com. And besides that, that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.